Hey, what's going on? It's Jonathan Riggins with Rigid Tactical, and today I have another straight out of the box video for you. And this is a pretty cool pistol. It's the Fusion Firearms XP Pro Comp. Look at that bad boy. This thing is sweet. Buttery smooth, has an amazing trigger. There's a lot to like about this pistol, so let's get into it real quick. So let's start at the top and work our way down like we like to do. So on the top, he's actually put Dawson sights, I believe is what these are. Dovetail back here, sight that slides in. What I do really like is on the actual plate for the pistol, it actually has etchings on it right there. Yep, you can see that right there. So you can actually index the sight to exactly where you want it to be. Every time you remove it, you can put it right back on. Like I said, Dawson sights on the front. He has a blacked out rear with a fiber optic red on the front. And this is exactly how I like my sights, blacked out rear, fiber front for competition. Going down to the slide, I am thoroughly impressed with this slide. So it has these slide serrations on the front and on the back. As you can tell right here and right here, there you go. And they are very grippy. They have a very nice texture. You also have some really nice texture on the top. So if you come over the top and try to rack it, you can as well. You have some design on the barrel right there, and this is actually going to allow your barrel to hold some oil as your gun recoils through there and keep it lubed. That's what's really nice about having little channels like that. It actually will hold a little bit of oil in there for you, and so that's really neat. I'm going to show you from this side as well. On the front right here, we have the comp. So this is the XP Pro Comp. Here's your comp on the front, and it is a legit comp. It has an expansion chamber right in there that the gases will expand in and then be forced up and won't be able to come out the front. And so that should help keep the muzzle flip down on this pistol. Right out of the box, what you do feel from this pistol is it is heavy. So I've been shooting a Gen 6 Glock for the last few months, and man, when I pick this thing up, it is hefty. And so I'm gonna see how that performs tonight for me. Maybe it's gonna help absorb some of the recoil. Maybe I'm gonna be a little slow or over transition a little bit just because I'm not used to the weight of it, but we're gonna try to be mindful of that. As we work our way down, you have your typical slide, lock, slide, release. So there's that. And you can get to it with your thumb, but the safety can get in the way right here. And so tonight I'll probably just be hitting it with my offhand to send it home. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this slide on here is buttery smooth. This thing, it just tracks. If we look at the back right here, so sometimes in less expensive models, you're gonna see a little bit of slop in the slide, and there is very little. The fitment on this pistol is insane. Safety, very smooth, very tactile for me, but this is the smaller version of the safety, so it doesn't stick out as far, and that can allow you to get to this slide release in this configuration. Moving on up to the front of the gun, you do have a full dust cover with rail, so it does extend all the way, and that allows the comp to be set back in it, which I really do like. So it's flat up here on the end, but that's because it is sitting back in that full dust cover. Let's go to the grip and then we'll work over to the safety real quick, because the trigger. Because this area I have a little bit of a gripe with. It's not too big, but we'll get there. So the grip. Whenever I first saw the XP Pro Comp, it was at the NRA show last year, and I was not impressed with their grip. It didn't have grip to it. It was just this big chunk that had some design on it and stuff like that, but didn't provide any grip. Now they've done a great job in redesigning this grip, and it looks amazing. It absolutely looks amazing. You have checkering on the back, you have checkering on the side, and you have checkering on the front. And what you will actually notice if you ever hold the firearm is this checkering on the back is really aggressive. It allows you to get a really good bite. Checkering on the front, really aggressive, get a good bite. But these side panels, they're lacking just a little bit. And then also, as you can tell, there's gaps in this. And so when you're trying to get a grip on this pistol, you can actually feel your hand slip on these as you go to try to grip into the pistol. And so that, I wish there was at least something where it wasn't just completely smooth. Even if it was just like, I don't know, just roughed up a little bit, it would still allow you to get a little bit more grip. And so when your hands are sweaty and you hit something like that, it can, as you're shooting, allow your grip to slip just a tiny bit when you don't have any texturing on this beaver tail safety and on the sides right there. Now, I believe you can get a magwell for this. This does not have a magwell on it. I don't know if my friend took it off or not. He may have, but it is flared on the bottom, so you should be able to do a reload pretty easily. And what I really, really like about this pistol is it uses the most reliable mags on the market, and that is Glock mags. This is just your standard Glock 17 mag. Goes right in, drops right out. And that just feeds in there nice and easy. If we go over here, we can see our mag release up here. It is textured, it is kind of small, but you can get to it pretty easy. Hit that and the mag just comes right out. Inserts insanely easy. All right, now let's move back up to the trigger. On this, the trigger is really nice. This is always the hardest part. All right, we're gonna do this way, get this on screen. So there is a little bit of take up on this trigger right here, a solid wall, and a nice easy break. Do that again real quick. Solid wall, nice easy break. Let's do the reset now. Resets right there, and crisp break. Reset, crisp break. So that is amazing. I actually really like this trigger. It is textured in the front. I don't know if I can show that off or not. Oh yeah, there we go. You see a little bit of texturing on there. All right, so on the front right here of the trigger guard, this is where I have an issue. You do have texturing right up there, as you can tell. But if we flip it up, there is zero texturing. It is just completely flat down here. There is an undercut, but right in here, it is completely flat. So I go and I build my grip into this gun, bam. And then I come up with this hand. I can easily slip as I try to build that grip because there's nothing there stopping me from slipping forward. So typically on a gun like this, I'll actually take a paster or something in a match and put it right there, put a little bit of grip tape. Maybe if this was my gun, checker it or something so it does have a little bit of grip right there so that it doesn't slip off. So in this match, if you see me shooting with my finger forward on that texture spot right there, that's just how I had to get it because my finger was slipping. And that's my biggest gripe about the pistol. The design on this pistol is that whenever I like to index with this index finger right in there for my grip, if I do that and it slides off like that, then I'm gonna be all the way up there. But that is the overview of the pistol. All right, let's get to the match.
Stand by!
All right, so let's go over the pros and cons of the XP Pro Comp by Fusion Firearms. So that was the gun I was shooting, and it performed very well last night. I was able to take 3rd overall in the match out of 41 shooters. I believe I was #1 in irons, 2nd place in pistol overall. The pros of this gun are it shoots extremely flat. Overall though, I really like the pistol. There are a couple things I didn't like about it, and we'll go over those. The trigger's really nice. The Dawson precision sights that Gerald had on that gun were amazing. I love that it takes Glock mags. Didn't have to change out anything else on my gear other than the holster, so that was nice, and I'm just using my normal mags for it. The safety is ridiculously responsive, and it's pretty tactile. The slide release, again, I can't get it with my strong hand, so whenever I was doing a slide lock reload, I would actually push down with my left thumb, and that seemed to be no issue. And for me to be able to do that on the fly, I think it just is it speaks volumes to how easily this gun is to operate and shoot. So a couple of the cons, and these are not really big deals, and it's more personal preference, but I personally like a lighter gun, and this gun did weigh a lot. Now, when I was shooting, I didn't really notice it. I would like to have it a little bit lighter just so I can be a little bit snappier with it. The grip, so the grip module, even though it's an improvement over the original that I saw at NRA show, it is still lacking in some regards. So the front strap and the back strap on the gun have a really good aggressive texture. Whenever you lock down on them, it locks in. The side panels are not as aggressive. They're still okay, and they do provide grip, but there are a couple of spots where there is absolutely no grip on the grip module. And unfortunately, that's just where you're gonna lose some ability to lock into the gun. Another thing that you'll see while I was shooting, I did have 2 malfunctions. Now, these were self-induced malfunctions, but this came from something that I was already a little worried about, and that was the trigger guard. So the trigger guard doesn't have a double undercut, it doesn't have any texture on the bottom. Whenever I would go to rebuild my grip after a reload, my hand would slip forward. So this index finger would go to hit and it would slip forward. So this would be in front of the trigger guard. And that means that my grip would actually shift up even higher, which typically that would be okay, but my thumb was coming into contact with the slide. This gun, I believe, has an 8-pound recoil spring. As it's trying to go back into battery, my thumb is providing enough friction to keep it from going fully into battery. And so that's how both of those malfunctions happened. I will say that that 8-pound recoil spring felt really nice as I was shooting because, like I said, the gun would settle right back where it needed to. What I would like to see done is on that lower frame, having some type of thumb ledge or some type of index point on it so that you know where your thumb needs to go. Again, I have very positive takeaway. This gun performed exceptionally well. There are a couple little things, mainly in the grip module and trigger guard, that I didn't like, but there's so much to this pistol that I did like. If you're interested in a 2011, check out the XP Pro Comp. I think that it is an insane value for its price point. It's probably, what, 1/4 of the price of a Staccato XC. It's probably giving you, in my opinion, 90% of that gun for a quarter of the price. It's pretty dang good. All right, so I did let my friend Jeremy, 2 Taps, test this pistol out. So let's go ahead and see what he has to say.
So kind of like we were talking off screen earlier, I think for the price, you're getting a whole lot of gun. You know that I shoot Staccatos for the most part in 2011s, and I think you're getting about 85 to 90% of that effect out of this, and it takes Glock mags. My biggest complaints for the gun itself is the safeties. They're not too tactile. I know you can probably change that, but as far as positives go, I mean, slide to frame fit is pretty solid. Trigger solid. I mean, overall, if you're trying to get into a comped 2011 style gun, I think this is pretty hard to beat. I think the closest thing is what, the Kimber. So if you want to stay in that Glock ecosystem, I think this is the one for you.
Hey, so thanks for stopping by. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think of the XP Pro Comp, if you were interested in it, if you're going to give it a try, or if you've shot it before, and your thoughts on it. And I will see y'all later. Take care. Peace.